Hey guys, how's it going? Zach Butler YGO here. Back from a regional in Hartford. I didn't do too well. Initially, I wasn't even going to record this, but I felt like the theories and concept behind it were pretty cool. And I wanted to showcase that, maybe give you guys something to work off of and maybe give you some inspiration if you're a big fan of the punk cards like I am, to try out something similar and maybe have even better results. Because mine were not that great. A big part of it was simply just fatigue. I'm very tired, and I definitely played suboptimally, as well as some of the deck making choices, the extra deck choices I made. I think were probably not the best, but we'll get into that. But before I get into the deck profile, shoutouts to Bobby Kinney for talking through some of the theory of the deck with me. He's been doing his own thing, and even though we diverge a lot in our logic on the deck, it's always nice to have someone else to work with. And also, if you want to purchase any of the cards you see in this video, please use the TCG Player affiliate link found in the description below. A portion of that does go towards supporting the channel, and it's greatly appreciated. So thank you all so much for that, as well as just thank you for the support in general. Any views and subscriptions, your guys' comments, likes, everything has just been tremendously appreciated. So we'll just get into the deck, and I'll kind of explain what I was thinking with the deck, and I think kind of areas for improvement. So first for the punks, we have 3 Foxy Tune, double Ogre Dance. This probably should have been at 3, honestly, just to max out on your starters, but I ended up only playing 2. I think that was one big issue, is that I could have played more and then just given me more starters, more little lates. 2 Deer Notes, 3 Xiamen, of course, and then 1 Wagon, 1 Madam Spider, and 1 Shirakusai. I had considered playing 2 Shirakusai, however, I found that most lines I would actually fuse with 2 of the other punks instead of itself, and then I would just leave this on the field to use on the opponent's turn. So the reason for the second one wasn't really there. It was pretty decent though overall. So that was the punk engine. I did play 3 Kashtira Fenrir just as a good generic level 7 Earth Psychic. Like, everything about it's just really good in the deck. And it just gives the ability to make Baron de Fleur much more easily. I played 4 Therions. I played Regulus, Berea, Yule, and Fum. So initially, instead of playing the Duke, I had played the Empress. The reason for playing Duke is that it can work with all of the level 3 Psychic Tuners, which is really good. Being able just to, like, if your plays get stopped or, like, you, like, start to have an extender and then, they have, like, a hand trap, you could just summon this by equipping one and then synchro into a Psychic and Punisher. It was really good. They came up a lot, actually, and also just being big. My favorite one, though, of the day was Reaper, by far. Being able to... Generally, you want to end on Reaper in defense position with Regulus out, and Reaper equipped with Berea, and then you bounce the Berea, bounce a card, and then you tribute the Reaper for the Regulus, and that was just really good. I liked the Therion engine a lot, and it was also just nice because it was very compact, which is the issue that I had with the Kashtira version of the Punk deck, is that the Kashtira cards take up so much room. For hand traps, there's 3 Nibiru, the Primal Being, 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, and 1 Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. Ghost Ogre, again, just because it's a Psychic Tuner, is really good. Also, with the lack of Dimension Shifter, Ghost Ogre gets a lot better as long as they don't have a Rise Heart, especially in the Cashier matchup, because you can hit the Birth, and hitting Birth is huge. It was very good. These 6, I think, are fairly standard at this point. Ash Blossom is just generically good, and Nibiru is very good in the Cashier matchup if they don't play around it. If they do play around it, they're generally not playing around everything else you can do, so you can punish them for that, and that's kind of like the exploit of the format. For the spells, 3 emergency teleport. Of course, it's your best starter in the deck. One big change that I've done that I wasn't doing in previous decks was I was playing 2 Jam Extreme Session. So this card actually, I'm considering playing at 3 because of how powerful it is, just to draw it. Being able to Jam Extreme Session and then normal summon your Wagon, or like you teleport it or whatever, and you activate, and then if they stop it, you get like an automatic draw 2. Like if they imperm, that's an automatic draw 2. If they ash, it's a draw 1 at the cost of 600 life points. It just doesn't matter. It's totally fine. And just drawing this card in conjunction with literally any of the other level 3s was just so good that I think that this might be worth playing 3 of. And it also just meant that you had a better grind game knowing that you could draw more copies of it. Then there was the 1 Therion Coliseum. The reason for the 1 of in the Therion deck is, or the Therion version of this deck, is because you legitimately can go through basically every Therion card on turn 0, besides 1. As long as you can get to Xiamen and any discard. And I can show that in a combo video sometime. Then I played 3 Crossout Designator. This card was very strong today, and this is one of the reasons why I think that this deck has a lot of potential, is because it's able to play cards like Crossout Designator. I initially wasn't going to play hand traps at all. I just wanted to play like board breakers and things like that, but Crossout Designator in conjunction with cards like Nibiru and Ash was very good. And also being able to banish their like your own Cashier Fenrir to stop their from resolving and things like that can be really good, because one of my Cashier matchups, he attacked into my Baron, activated the effect, targeted the Baron, and I just chained a Crossout, called Cashier Fenrir, and then it just swung into the Baron and died, and that was very good. And then the last spell I played was Call by the Grave. I don't really have anything to say about Call by the Grave. It was very average. I don't really like one of cards like that, but then I played 3 Imperm and 1 Dangerous Gabu. Imperm was pretty solid. Again, it's mostly just a cross-out target at this point. Yeah, so it gives you, I think, 10 defensive cards, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 defensive cards, 12 if you count the Call by the Grave, 15 if you count Crossout Designator, so it gives you a really high chance to see at least 2 in your opening hand. Then for the extra deck, I just played 1 Rising Carp, because I found that the fusion effect, being able to fuse wasn't as important as I thought it would be, and most of the time they're not going to get to go for the extra deck rip. Doing that is just a really greedy play anyway, so they weren't really going for it, so you'd get a chance to do it. Double Amazing Dragon. This one's important because if you do get the Rising Carp Grave, you'll bring it back with the Amazing Dragon, and that'll be your game push. Psychic End Punisher, of course. Baron de Fleur. Double Jam Dragon Drive. This is one of the cards I think could probably get cut to 1. I just wanted to have a second one in case they did do the extra deck rip, but again, that never really came up, so I don't think the second copy was really that useful. Another card that wasn't useful was Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend. This is mainly for going second, but also for time, because like if you summon Xiamen or like basically anything, and you just pay 600 once and you can get the Deer Note, you can do 1,000 damage per game. It never came up. Your games end too quickly, so this could be cut. And then Deep Atlantis, the Menacing Mantis, of course. This card's insane. It's the whole reason this version of the deck works the way it does. Gigantic Champion Sargas. This was the only Xyz that I played, and that was, I think, one of the biggest issues was that I legitimately only played the 1 Xyz. And it wasn't so much that I didn't play another rank 8, as I didn't play Zeus. If I had cut the second Jam Dragon Drive for Zeus, my second loss to Cashier just wouldn't have happened. I would have had absolute control of the game and won the game there. But that was kind of like a short-sighted decision, so yeah, you learn. 1 Lingeribo, just in case they Ibly me, but that never happened. Asa and IP. A lot of the time you're actually going to end on IP. Like if your main combo gets stopped, you can just end on like IP Regulus, or like IP and another one of the Therions equipped with Regulus and stuff, and basically have Regulus, and then you can have an interrupt that way, and then you can make a unicorn, and that's another interrupt, and you have like your hand traps and stuff like that. And then I played Axis Go Talker. These 4 were huge in a lot of my wins, actually. Just in general the last couple nights, because I played this deck the night before at Locals, and when X1, my only loss was to Sprite, where I just, like, bricked awful. It was weird. Side deck, 3 Lava Golem. Card's very good. If they play around that, then they are not playing around the Mind Control, Change of Heart, double Talents, and double Thrust that I also side into. So these are all for going second. As well as the 3 Evenly Matched and the Harpy's Feather Duster. So the idea being that going second, I basically side out of every hand trap. And just side into all of these. I'm just trying to break what you're doing. It's very common in Kashtira that they'll just summon an Arise Heart and pass. And if I can find a way to force it out, I can use one of these 4 to force it out again. Like if I can force it out, then I can thrust for one of these 4 and it'll have to destroy itself. The 1 Harpy's Feather Duster was very good, just, you know, as a generic back row threat to Labyrinth. Evenly Matched was my other back row removal of choice. I don't really like Evenly Matched as a card, but I felt like being able to be searchable by Thrust meant that I had 5 copies going second, so I had over a 50% chance to draw it, which was really good. And Thrust actually made it so you had a... it's really good odds to draw, like, you had like 3 Dusters in your deck, or 4 Talents, or 3, or Change of Heart, or 3 Mind Control. Like, it was just really cool. And then I sided 2 D-Barrier for when I go first. It's the only going first card I side, because the only matchup I was really worried about was the Kashtira matchup when I go second, or when they go second, and I just wanted to be able to shut them down. Also, one really cool thing, too, is if you're playing and you're going first, you can actually side into... just like one-ofs of like these kinds of cards. If you're going second, you side into this. But you can side these going first, just like as one-ofs if you want to take out some of the defensive cards because of Cross-Out Designator, because these are the kind of cards that generally beat you. So that was a really cool thing with the deck. So the basic theory was that the P.U.N.K deck could be a good Cross-Out Designator deck. It was also just a good combo deck, and that by playing a compact engine like the Therions, you had just so much room for non-engine that you'd be able to even out the Kashtira matchup, which was relatively true. It's still a struggle, but I think going forward, I definitely think that this version has more potential. It just needs more refinement, that's for sure. But anyway, guys, thanks a ton for watching. If you have any questions or comments that you'd like to leave, just leave them down below. Please like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. It helps out a lot. And again, if you wanted to purchase any of these cards, make sure to check out the TCG player link in the description below. Other than that, have a wonderful night, and thank you for watching.